Hello, dwellers, and welcome to the basement. It's Tuesday night still, and we had a brand new episode of Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. It was episode 12 of season 4 titled Hot Potato Soup. It saw the return of Patton Oswalt's only great contribution to entertainment, that being the Koenig brothers. And the first obvious question, was this a good episode or a bad episode? And I'm struggling to come up with an answer with that, mainly because my expectations of what this episode was going to be, based on the trailer I saw last week. When Shield ends, we get the trailer. They indicate what's going to be happening in the next episode, and my expectations were leaning one way, and what we got here was not really what I was expecting. So the episode, I would say, was fine for what it was, but it wasn't as fun as I was expecting. Um, so with that said, let's step into the spoiler portion of this review. This is your spoiler warning, as I will be talking about what led me to be somewhat disappointed in the episode, which is, again, fine for what it is, just not what I was hoping for. Again, spoiler warning from this point on. So, first, what was the episode itself? Radcliffe learns via the May LMD that Coulson gave the Darkholme, the Mystic Book, to one of the Koenigs, and so he has connections with Senator Nadir now. He's hooked up with this Russian dude who has issues with Inhumans, and not to mention this alien life in general, with because they get power unnaturally, they didn't earn it, or some really some half-assed reasoning like that. And they tried torturing the Koenig that they captured, and that doesn't work. So Radcliffe just makes a copy of his mind and goes shifting through his memories, and eventually learns where the Darkholme location is. Yeah, that's basically it. For something called hot potato soup, it's pretty damn straightforward when you really think about it. Now, here is what my expectations were, and it's actually explained in the episode, that the Koenigs, Billy and Sam, that there was a third one named Eric, but that one was killed off. We're going to pass the Darkholme back and forth, to throw off anyone trying to figure out where it is. It's their way of helping things disappear. That said, we are introduced to two other Koenigs, another Koenig whose name began with a T. I can't remember what it was at this exact moment. Then there's an LT Koenig, who is not played by Patton Oswalt, is played by an Artemis Pedani, who was the original Koenig, the one who got the others into S.H.I.E.L.D. in the first place. And so the expectation was that, just like it was Operation Hot Potato Soup. We're going to keep the Darkholme moving back and forth until we get it into the labyrinth, a very secure location that only they know about, which leads us to me where my disappointment was, is that I was expecting to see the Koenigs in action, at least for a good portion of the episode, before one of them was captured, and then the entire thing with the labyrinth and the eventual ending occurring. But no, no, all the hot potato soup stuff, the fun stuff that I was expecting to see, yeah, it happens off screen, and we can get flashbacks for for all sorts of stuff, but for something that could have been a lot of fun to watch, yeah, that's kind of disappointing there, and it's primarily due to the really lame duck, long-winded excuse that was the B story in this, which was Fitz, Simmons, and Mac with the Radcliffe bot, trying to get around the programming and things of that nature, to figure out where the real Radcliffe is. The Radcliffe bot has all of the real Radcliffe's memories, because guess what? It has a copy of Radcliffe's brain, which Fitz ends up discovering after going through an idiotic bit of daddy issues. It's like, really, that was time that could have been spent, giving us something fun. But no, we have to let Fitz have his character moment, which he's had way too many of. I think he had more character moments this season than anyone else. Come to think about it. But no, it was ought to give him an epiphany to look into the head of the Radcliffe bot, and then to give Simmons the indication that she's seen Radcliffe create a copy of Agent May's brain, thus putting him on the trail that the May that they've been working with is the LMD, and who also gets a hold of the book and the episode's climax, and basically hands it to Radcliffe. But that's so Radcliffe has the book now, and this, you see why I said my disappointment was in this episode, because just saying it out loud is like, after watching, it's like, really, that's what they ended up doing. It's so disappointing. Now, at the same time, we did get some moments there. The LMD made her move on Coulson. Managed to get a kiss. Okay. And I'm surprised Coulson didn't realize something was up until after May got a hold, the fake May got a hold of the Darkholme and, turned on him. And, like, go to show, Coulson is a bit of an idiot, because we've seen May be the frigid ice queen, and all of something she's getting opener and, like, getting a little bit touchy-feely, a lot of toasting, suggesting maybe step up a little more and things of that nature. You mean Coulson couldn't see right through that? Again, and he's the quote-unquote head of S.H.I.E.L.D. at the moment, the real power behind Director Mace. Yeah. Anyway, this episode wasn't without its moments, though. There was, Patton Oswalt as the Koenigs is great. He does a great job of giving them distinct personality traits and quirks. What was it? Billy with Quake, or was it Sam with Quake? I always get them mixed up. Talking about yes, you should see the fan fiction that's on the internet, and they shipped you with Black Widow. It was like, yes, they certainly did. The images are rather steamy. Yes, they are. Like I said, Rule 34 is a wonderful thing when it comes to superheroes. I'm just gonna say that right now. But still, there was a great moment there, a little character moment between Quake and either Billy or Sam in the Quinjet. This Russian guy that was introduced was rather interesting, and he's kind of putting a number of things together that regarding everything surrounding all the events in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, that Coulson is always there, always lurking in the shadows, that he's dead, but he's not dead. There is and putting all this stuff together and seeing this, like, Coulson is the cause of everything. All the stuff with the aliens, with the Kree, and the various invasions and things of that nature. It's like it's all Agent Coulson's fault. Kind of puts a number of things into perspective when you really think about it. And it figures, like, if you take Coulson out, all of these things may stop or cease, because it's the one consistent factor. But so that in and of itself was a little bit intriguing. And obviously, with the revelation that they have a fake May, Coulson is going to go on the rampage to find the real May in next week's episode. So things were set up rather nicely in that regard, and that at the very least, the LMD May is going to be kept around, possibly reprogrammed somehow or because because if they can't get the real May back, hey, at least he has a robot version of her, who he might be willing to keep for more than one thing. Again, If he couldn't realize, if he didn't realize again that she was a fake, considering the moves that she was putting on him, it definitely raises questions about Coulson's, mindset among other things. Let's see. And on that note, my friends, and you are my friends, we'll wrap things up here. Coming up in the basement, obviously tomorrow is Wednesday, and we have a brand new episode of Arrow that we'll be going over. We'll also go over the episode of DC's Legends of Tomorrow that aired tonight, but since that airs between 9 and 10, after Flash and before Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which is the time stop where I do my review for Flash, we of course will go over Legends of Tomorrow tomorrow. We also got a comic book review this week, Prophet #1 from Image Comics in 1993. We'll be hitting the Ghostbusters Containment Unit as well on Thursday with that comic book review. We're going over Extreme Ghostbusters episode Darkness at Noon Part 2. And of course, Tales from the TARDIS and Talking Anime on Friday. Another Ghostbusters Containment Unit episode on Saturday, and other goodies over the weekend. And on that note, my friends, and you are my friends, we'll wrap things up here. So be kind, please subscribe, and we'll catch you next time.